Seafood, with that special twist from New Orleans chefs, is a big reason tourists pack this city year in and year out.
You know, the only way to make these soup properly is to start with an incredible stock.
For 31 years, Richard Hughes has been the head chef and owner of the Pelican Club, tucked away in this city's famed French Quarter.
Chili paste.
A year after the pandemic first gripped the U.S., Hughes and other restaurant operators are now seeing a business rebound.
We saved some of the crawfish for garnish. These are the spicy Louisiana boiled crawfish.
A few times a week, fresh seafood rolls up from Louisiana's coast. Redfish, flounder, crab, shrimp, and of course, oysters.
We basically produce a third of the oysters in the country, a quarter of the crabs in the country. Our fishery in Louisiana is second only to Alaska in annual pounds harvested.
But Louisiana's nursery for all this wonderful seafood, its marsh coastline, is being destroyed. In the last century, some 2,000 miles, 3,200 kilometers, has been reclaimed by the water. The state has an ambitious plan to rebuild that could break ground sometime next year. The goal, to save the wetlands from dramatically washing away. But the plan could put legions of people who make a living on the water out of business.
I mean, I think it would be catastrophic. I really do. I mean, first of all, it'd put all these fisheries out of business and then expect them to come back when they turn the switch on again. That's not really realistic.
This is Granal, and we're going to go look at a oyster farm.
Oysterman Boris Guerrero says his livelihood is at risk under the state's $50 billion coastal restoration plan. The cornerstone of the measure would divert more than 12% of the Mississippi River's fresh water and silt into the salty, brackish estuary.
It's going to wipe us out. I mean, the oysters are not going to like it around here. I mean, it's going to be too fresh for them. You know, you need a certain salinity for oysters to survive. So let's crack one open.
Right now, the mix between fresh and salt water is perfect.
Let's do a taste test.
Good?
Delicious. The salinity went up.
Guerrero's father is a dirt farmer. Boris and his wife Alina decided to make a go out of oyster farming back in 2013, an organic way to make a living without harming the environment. It's hard work with a razor-thin profit margin. Basically, everything has to go right to make a profit. The water off Grand Isle on Louisiana's coast is only about 15 kilometers from where the state wants to open the levee and unleash the Mississippi's fresh water. Scientific studies show the sediment will attach to the marshes and slowly rebuild what has been lost.
I think that, continued inaction is probably not the way to go.
Seth Blitch has spent a lifetime working on the health of the Gulf coastline, working for the environmental group, the Nature Conservancy. The organization firmly backs the state's multi-billion-dollar coastal restoration plan, knowing it could mean the end of jobs for families that have made a living for generations in these swamps.
What the state is wrestling with, I think they're trying to do the best job they can for all citizens of the coast.
Restoration, it means trying to restore the wetlands to the way they used to be, before a system of levees on the river blocked sediment from building up swampy land in the estuary. These marshes serve a vital role to knocking down a storm surge that comes with a powerful tropical storm or hurricane. Diverting the powerful Mississippi to restore the coast has never been tried on this scale.
I think we might be also sacrificing the future. It's not, we can't tell what's going to happen. And who says in 50 years we're never coming back?
I think it's a legitimate worry. I just don't think it will happen. I think for all those things that we're contending with on the coast, this is still a super productive, rich coastline.
Well, right now the cornerstone of the tourism in New Orleans is the restaurants, the seafood industry. So if that was severely interrupted, our economy would suffer greatly.
Trying to save what's left of the marshes,
And off they go.
will take tough decisions. And that means making choices that will affect thousands who make their living on the water. Supporters of the plan say it's sacrificing the present to make sure there's a future. Sean Callebs, CGTN, New Orleans.